Hi, my name is Teacher Zyr from MK Education, and today we're going to study about past continuous. So for this example, yesterday Karen and Jim played tennis. They began at 10 o'clock and finished at 11:30. So at 10:30 they were playing tennis. They were playing means they were in the middle of playing. They had not finished playing. Was or were plus ing is the past continuous. For example, I was playing, or you were working. Now let's move to another example. I was doing something, meaning I am in the middle of doing something at a certain time. The action or situation had already started before this time but had not finished. So, meaning it is between I started doing and I finished doing. That's in the middle. I was doing. This time last year, I was living in Brazil. What were you doing at 10 o'clock last night? I waved to Helen, but she wasn't looking. Compare the past continuous, I was doing, and past simple, I did. So for past continuous, meaning in the middle of an action. For past simple, completed the action, or the action has been finished or done already. For example, for past continuous, I was walking home when I met Dave. So meaning, in the middle of walking home, he met Dave. For past simple, I walked home after the party last night. So meaning, all the way home. He walked all the way home after the party. Another example for past continuous, Kate was watching television when we arrived. So meaning, Kate was in the middle of watching television when we arrived. For past simple, Kate watched television a lot when she was ill last year. Meaning, Kate watched a lot of television, so it was already finished. We often use we often use the past simple and past continuous together to say that something happened in the middle of something else. So for example, Matt phoned while we were having dinner. So in the middle of having dinner, Matt phoned or Matt called. Another one is, it was raining when I got up, meaning it was in the middle of raining, so it was still raining when I got up. I saw you in the park yesterday. You were sitting on the grass and reading a book. So you were in the middle of reading a book and sitting when I saw you in the park. And another one is, I hurt my back while I was working in the garden. Meaning, I was in the middle of working in the garden when I hurt my back. But we use the past simple to say that one thing happened after another. For example, I was walking along the road when I saw Dave. So I stopped and we had a chat. Past simple. So I was walking along the road and then I saw Dave. So I stopped and we had a chat. Let's compare these two examples. When Karen arrived, we were having dinner. So we had already started before she arrived. We were in the middle of having dinner. Another example is when Karen arrived, we had dinner. So Karen arrived and then we had dinner. So meaning we weren't having dinner yet when Karen arrived. So we waited for Karen and then had dinner. Some verbs, for example, know and want, are not normally used in the continuous. For example, we were good friends. We knew each other well. So in this example, we for continuous form, we should be using we were knowing, but the verb know and want is an exception. So instead of we were knowing, we put in the past tense, we knew each other well. And another one is, I was enjoying the party, but Chris wanted to go home. So instead of putting in the ing, because it should be in a continuous form, we put wanted, not was wanting to go home. Let's move on to our next page. Exercises. What were you doing at these times? Write sentences as an example. As in the examples, the past continuous is not always necessary. See the second example. So at 8 o'clock yesterday evening, I was having dinner. And at 5 o'clock last Monday, I was on a bus on my way home. Alright, so for number 3, at 10:15 yesterday morning, I was having breakfast. And for 4:30 this morning, you could say at 4:30 this morning, I just finished taking a bath. And at 7:45 yesterday evening, I was on my way home. And half an hour ago. So half an hour ago, I had coffee. You could say something like that. And for the next exercise, use your own ideas to complete the sentences. Use the past continuous. So past continuous, the verb should have ing. The doorbell rang while I was watching television. So we use watching television. And we saw an accident while we were driving home. So we saw an accident while we were driving home. Anne fell asleep while she I would say Anne fell asleep while she was studying. And lastly, the television was on, but nobody was watching. The television was on, but nobody was watching. Put the verb into the correct form. past continuous or past simple. So, for example, number 1 here. I saw, past tense of see. I saw Sue in town yesterday, but she did not see me. She was looking the other way. So for the last sentence, we use the past continuous because she was still looking the other way. That's why she did not see me. We used the past continuous form here. And for example number 2, we use the past simple for meet. So we should say I met Tom and Jane at the airport a few weeks ago. Second is still past simple. They went, past tense for go, they went to Paris, and I, still past simple, past tense for go is went. They went to Paris and I went to Rome. And still past simple for this one, we had a chat while we, this right here is when we use the past continuous. While we were waiting for our flights. Right, so I met Tom and Jane at the airport a few weeks ago. They went to Paris and I went to Rome. We were having a chat while we had a chat while we were waiting for our flights. For number 3, we start with past continuous. Past continuous. We should say here was cycling, past continuous. I was cycling home yesterday when a man, right here, stepped. We're gonna use past simple. I was cycling home yesterday when a man stepped out into the road in front of me. And for this blank, we're gonna use past continuous. I was going quite fast, but luckily, past simple this time, but luckily I managed to stop in time. And past simple again, and did not hit him. So I was cycling home yesterday when a man stepped out into the road in front of me. I was going quite fast, but luckily I managed to stop in time and not hit him. Next exercise, put the verb into the correct form, past continuous or past simple. For example, Jenny was waiting. Jenny was waiting. So was waiting is past continuous. Jenny was waiting for me when I arrived. So arrived is past simple. So for example, for question number 2, what we're gonna use past continuous here. What were you doing? What were you doing at this time yesterday? And the response is I was asleep. So meaning, at this time yesterday, I was asleep, in the middle of sleeping. I am still sleeping at this time yesterday. So we use past continuous. For number 3, we're gonna use past simple. Did you go out last night? No, I was tired. Did you go out last night? So just simple past tense. Did you? Did you go? Did you go out last night? Because the action is already done. And for number 4, how fast? How fast? The verbs is you and drive. How fast were you driving? How fast were you driving when the accident, simple past, happened? So we use past continuous here because the question is how fast were you driving? So the action is not done yet. You are still driving. He's asking how fast were you driving? So the action is not finished. You are still driving. How fast were you driving when the accident happened? For the second question, we use past simple because the accident already happened. Number 5, Sam. We use simple past of take. Sam took a photograph of me while, so keyword is while, meaning during or in the middle of. So we're gonna use past continuous. Sam took a photograph of me while I, and not look, while I wasn't looking. We're gonna use wasn't looking for past continuous. Number 6, we were in a very difficult position. We use simple past or past simple. We did not know what to do because it's already done. It's not in the middle of doing something. That's why we use past simple. We did not know what to do. I haven't seen Alan for ages. When I last saw him, we use past simple because it's already done. When I last saw him, we use past continuous. He was trying to find a job. He was trying to find a job. Number 8, I was walking. We're gonna use past continuous. I was walking along the street when suddenly, yes, keyword here, when suddenly, or the key phrase, when suddenly I heard, simple past or past simple, I heard footsteps behind me. So meaning I was in the middle of walking along the street and then I heard footsteps behind me. Somebody was following. We use past continuous. Somebody was following me. I was scared and we use past simple. I started to run. So I was walking along the street when suddenly I heard footsteps behind me. Somebody was following me. I was scared and I started to run. Example number 9, or should I say question number 9. When I was young, we use past simple because it's already done. When I was young, meaning a long time ago. When I was young, I wanted, past simple of want, wanted to be a pilot. For example number 10, or question number 10, last night I, simple past or past simple because it's already done. It happened last night. I dropped a plate when I was doing the washing up. So meaning we use the past continuous because last night I dropped a plate in the middle of washing up because when I was doing the washing up, fortunately it did not break. Past simple. Last night I dropped, past simple, a plate when I was doing the washing up. Fortunately, it did not break. Let's do some review. I don't have much time left. For past continuous, meaning it's still in the middle of the action. You are still doing it. And for simple past or past simple, the action is already made. I was doing something, or I was in the middle of doing something at a certain time. So for example, yesterday morning or earlier this afternoon, I was eating lunch when my student called me. So that was past continuous. I was eating lunch. I was eating lunch when my student called me. What else? I'll explain some of the questions here again. How fast when the accident happened. So how fast we use here past continuous. How fast, past continuous is how fast were you driving. Past continuous, the verb should have ing. How fast were, past tense, were you driving when the accident happened. So at a certain time, correct? You were doing an action at a certain time. That is what past continuous means. So the certain time was when the accident happened. How fast were you driving when the accident happened? And another example, Sam took a photograph of me. So we'll use past simple for the verb take. Sam took a photograph of me while I wasn't looking. Another example. We were in a very difficult position. We did not know what to do. So we just use here simple past. Okay. And that's it for today. Thank you. Goodbye.